The next few weeks felt strange. Jungkook didn't speak to her again after the infirmary incident. He didn't come near her, but he didn't avoid her either. It was like she had become sacred ground. He didn't cross the line anymore. Vine had gone back to being the sunshine she was, hanging out with friends, taking part in the schoolwork, lending everyone her notes, just being there for everyone. Although it tired her, it was a part of her personality and it truly made her happy. Then a day came when the rain blurred the windows of the school library. The building had mostly emptied, but Wine stayed behind for a student council task. She didn't realize how late it had gotten until she stepped outside and found the sky soaked and the streets gleaming. Wine, no umbrella, she muttered. Her phone had no signal, her bag was heavy, she was tired. Yet somehow, none of it bothered her when she saw him. Jungkook was leaning against the school gate, black uniform slightly undone, cuffs rolled up to his elbows. The red muffler was still tightly wrapped around his neck like a symbol of something he wouldn't let go. He was staring at the sky, letting the rain hit his face like it didn't even register. Wine, hey, she called softly, approaching him. He looked at her slowly, like waking from a dream. Wine, you're gonna get sick. Jungkook quietly watched. She was still under a cover. Jungkook, you do not have an umbrella. Wine, I'll just wait till it stops raining. Jungkook, it's gonna get dark and unsafe. Wine smiled softly and leaned beside him against the wall. The difference was he was being rained upon and she wasn't. Wine, you look like you care. Jungkook closed his mouth and averted his eyes. It took a while, but Wine had convinced him to move away from the rain and sit on a bench under the shade, right beside her. Jungkook had removed his jacket, let it hang off the bench, exposing the scar on his shoulder. She hadn't noticed before. Was it from a fight too? Just how much this guy get into fights? Wine, that day, what did you say you didn't care about graduating? Jungkook, you know my last name, right? Wine, John? Everyone knows your family. They have that mansion in the hills. Your dad's the CEO of the luxury brand. Jungkook, and my mother's an heiress to a hospital chain. Jungkook, does it not give you the image of a perfect life to you? He gave a smile which never reached his eyes. JK, it's nothing deep. I wasn't forced. I'm giving up on this degree because I want to. JK, I desperately want to fail. He looked down at his hands and balled his fists. JK, since the very first day my life had been controlled, CCTV cameras, phone trackers, hired tutors, and even a hired therapist to keep me in tip top shape. Jungkook didn't know why he was opening up after his whole life died to towards a woman he was only talking to for the second time. JK, they wanted perfection. Emotions never want to them. JK, and so, instead of perfection, there was a rebel. You asked me why I like fighting? That's the only place I feel like I have some freedom. There's a chance, maybe, maybe once they see me as a failure, they'll disown me. Mine stay quiet. How bad the parents had to be that the child starts wishing for them to disown him. Jungkook never trusted a single person in his entire life. From the tutors to his therapists, all were hired to give reports to his parents. No, wrong. It's not like he didn't want to trust, it's simply he never knew how to trust, and what trust truly is, until he started to spill everything in front of her. What was that feeling? It was new, unfamiliar. JK, that's what I always believed in, until she walked in, wrapped a muffler around me, and told me I was making people cold. She gave that soft smile again. He had started to understand why people were willing to make efforts to see that smile. Fine. Well, you were. Silence again. Jungkook stared at her, then down at her fingers resting near to his on the bench, not quite touching. Fine. I want to graduate as soon as I can. I might sound like a jerk talking about my goals in front of someone who is willing to waste his life, but I want to move abroad. I want to travel the world, see different places, meet new people, help them. Jungkook watched how her eyes were stuck to the sky, glittering, while talking about her dreams, and then the time stopped when she turned to him with the brightest smile and extended her hand out for him. Fine, so if you're willing to give up on your life, give it up for a nice reason. Let's be friends. Sunshine smiled on a rainy day and extended her hand towards him, not the rebel him, but the real him, the one he hid and the one she found. The days after that changed everything. He didn't suddenly change his life path, but every time he looked at her helping people, he dropped the idea of fighting. For one day, he was going to do it tomorrow, and like that, he kept delaying. He instead would show up to council meetings that would run late, wait outside the room for her, even after the school empties, and then he would walk her home. Luca and him never went along each other. They would just glare at each other. When they were forced to sit together due to wine, they would just roast each other. While Luca being the energetic one throwing insults and then Jungkook lazily making a remark which Luca's 7 generations wouldn't forgive him for. And one day, up in the hallway, while the school had gone empty and the sun was already setting, she was busy making preparations for the upcoming school festival. As Vine tried to untangle a string of filled decorations, she felt arms gently wrap around her from behind. Jungkook, you need to stop volunteering for everything, he murmured near her ear, voice warm. She stilled, found his hands working on the strings now, slowly, extremely slowly, on purpose, messing up even more. Vine, it has to be done too, and there are others too who are doing it with me. Jungkook, sometimes you just need to enjoy instead of hosting it all. He was closer, making it harder for her to breathe, and then she slowly turned towards him, his arms still around her. Wine, I know, but it makes me happy. Is it wrong? Jungkook, no, but it's tiring. I just want you to have enough energy left to spend time with me. Wine's heart nearly leaped out of her chest at that. Then the strings magically untangled and he pulled back. He wasn't even a council member, but he always stayed, not because of the volunteer work, but always to help her, to spend time with her, to walk her back home. So she was the first and last person he sees in a day. The rest of the day never mattered to him. The festival went well and the graduation was nearing. Jungkook's grade had eventually gotten better again. He was a top student after all, provided with the top tutors as a child. He suddenly didn't want to give up on his life for his parents who never cared for him. But the more closer he got to graduation, the more the void in his heart started to grow all over again. Her application was accepted by at least 3 universities abroad. Her visa was going to be here within the next week. She was leaving. He felt like life going back to the point zero again, where only perfection is expected of him. The difference is, this time it's going to be lonely. Wine, what are you thinking? She stepped out of the school today. They were late. It was literally night, and she waited all the time just for her. Wine, seriously, the application process got late. Thank you for waiting. Jungkook, don't mind that. Have you chosen which university you're going to? Wine suddenly got quiet. There was something in her eyes Jungkook never saw before. Hesitation. Fine, I. It's hard. She leaned back against the wall beside him, at the exact spot they did on their very first rainy day. Jungkook, maybe try giving an interview to all of them. Then you can decide. Fine. It's not about that. Recently, I have started to find it hard to leave. Jungkook, why? All of a sudden, Wine exhaled and looked up at the sky. Wine, why are all men so dumb always? He looked clearly offended. Wine, Jungkook, will you come with me? Let's go together. Let's be together. His eyes slowly widened. He lost his cool there. From a
Was he
girl so
being asked to
perfect
go
that
out?
everyone
Why
wanted her.
him?
Why? He never got to ask her out, confess his feelings. She was just that pretty in his eyes. He couldn't taint her with his touch. How come? Wine, is it that surprising? Did you really never think of me like that? Jungkook, of course I did. He suddenly blurted out. Of course I did. Idiot, I. Are you sure you won't regret this? I have nothing to give you. I'm disowning my parents. Wine, then let's build it together. A future. She smiled. Jungkook felt an emotion hit his heart he couldn't describe, so he nodded and took her in his arms. She was a reward for him, a reward for everything that he was kept deprived of as a child, a reward he was going to cherish forever. Starting from a muffler she wrapped around him, which pulled him back to earth, to the feelings she confessed. She saved him from giving up on life, guided him towards a path, and held his hand as they walked on it, never letting it go. He was never letting it go.